Sector 7, Bearman's escape.
I have bear paws now. I assume I have a bear's mouth. A disgusting bowl of brown meat is staring back at me. And I almost curse the fact that I have enough intelligence to wonder where these Nazi bastards got the meat. Eat or starve. They punished me for not killing Alexei. Maybe it's better to starve. After I eat, I'm taken to a field by chains like the animal I am now. I suppose it could have been worse. Perhaps they could have turned me into a monk or a Nazi. I suppose if you can joke to yourself, Bob, if you is still here, I'm determined to make the most of myself before I forget me. I'm taken to a field where I see a group of mutated humans. It look like failed altered beasts, left in horrible states of disfigurement, with grotesque deformations resulting from the complications during the butterfly phase of the procedure. I see the looks of terror on their faces as I approach. I know what the Nazis want, so do they. The Nazis want to know they have a weapon, and the victims of their failed experiment just want to live. I hesitate, and the Nazis use my shock collar to shock me into submission. After several attempts to get me to kill those pitiful beasts, well, they just do their own dirty work. For this mercy, the Nazis take offense and beat me with chains, while other Nazi scum burn the failed altered beast with flamethrowers. On the next outing, my aggressive Nazi host take me by chains to the same grated pit where they burned failed ultra beast alive. I recognize this place by what I was told. Will these Nazi bastards give me my final rest and save us all the time and trouble? A bearman can only hope for so much. They bring me in a young male and an older female. The first thing that happens when you get in is the older female covers the young male in a protective posture against me. I forgot these bastards go after people's families, but I shouldn't be surprised. These are Nazis I'm confronting. They have no venomous. I refuse to attack them, no matter how much they yell. Then their yelling turns into severe electrocution with my shock collar. And they shock me until I'm almost dead. While I'm in a brand new world of pain I've never felt, I hear them.
It's either them or all of you dead love. What's it going to be?
I see how the female has guarded the young one, like my wife would guard my son. My heart sinks into my stomach. I know that if I live, I can still avenge the wrongs that have been done here, even by me. I work myself up, then I thrash the mother and rip her throat out. Then I slash the son's throat. That's the quickest death I could give to my fellow countryfolk. The same I would give for my wife and son, whom, for all I know, I may have just killed. I treat people like family. What a sickening thought. The day ends like yesterday. I stare into my disgusting bowl of food and think of starving myself to death. The Nazi nightmare continues as they pit me against their failed experiments, and I dispatch them all while continuously looking for a way out of this, planning my revenge day after day. I don't want to escape. I want to destroy them on my terms. It finally came to me, the way to exploit these Nazis and their system of controlling me. I realized that the routine of my actions has dulled their senses and lulled them into complacency, which is dangerous for a soldier. One should never become too comfortable, even when you're in complete control. After a particularly brutal takedown of one of their failed airmen, I used use the silver leg of my last victim to overload the shock collars by arcing to the power cables through the facility. First, I fight off the robotically augmented guards meant to control me with their shock weapons. But with my movement unrestricted and my background in hand-to-hand combat, I help fight them and I tear them to pieces. Remembering my escape plan, I make for the manual door. I could feel gunshots hitting it, but the genetic modifications of the Bearman DNA has denser skin and more solid bones. I know they didn't perfect the Bearman project because Alexei was able to break the programming by mentioning Stalin's name. One thing that his Nazi scum didn't consider when stealing the Bearman DNA is that Stalin never trusted the scientists who created it in the first place. He ordered them to install fail-safes into the DNA, making it impossible to become aggressive towards Joseph Stalin. At the manual door, there are Nazi warmen in combat gear. I fight for my life against the Nazi police, and I could tell they were normal, made into werewolf form, not exceptional combat specialists like me. I use my body weight and strength to overcome them with strategic attacks against their flurries of mindless violence. I open the manual door and manage to get out of the facility. And I run through the cabbage patch amid the sound of howling from beyond the tree line. It's the Wolfenstein, the lead wolf, and the only other exceptional soldier here. Forest, as the Wolfenstein has had more time to familiarize themselves with the surrounded forest than I have, and the wolf ears they have had more time to learn how to control their hearing than me. If they could hear me the whole time, I won't escape. So I made for the edge of the cliff. The last thing I know, I made the tactical choice to descend from the base along a cliff, thinking the Nazis wouldn't look for me in a very difficult terrain. But the cliff explodes from gunfire, and then an explosion from a rocket brings the cliff down on me. And then I fall into the misty darkness below.